All right, second try tonight. My internet is a little slower, but I'm using my data now, so hopefully this will work a lot better. All right, so emerging color technique card is what I wanted to share with you tonight, and it uses products from the new January to June mini catalog, as well as paper that you cannot purchase yet. So it's exclusive designer series paper available to those who purchase the starter kit. And I wanted to share about the blending brushes first. So it's on page 70. And they're tucked down here in the corner. So depending, you may not have seen it, depending on how well you looked at the catalog. I didn't see them the first time through. So, but I did purchase some. So a 3-pack for $16.25. So page 70 of the January to June mini catalog is where you'll find the blending brushes. And they come in this plastic zipper pouch. I've just left it, so I'm not sure where to store these just yet. Maybe I'll have to find a better container because this is not good if I can't open them. So I've used one and it's discolored, but I'm going to use this for all reds and purples and browns, I think. So that way, if they get stained, I can just keep using it for the same color. And I think like it doesn't transfer any color, so it'll be just fine. So I'm going to use that tonight. And then for this exclusive designer series paper, if you have the Celebration catalog, in the back, it talks about joining Stampin' Up. So purchasing the starter kit is the best deal out there. For $135, you would pick $165 worth of product from the mini catalog or from the annual catalog. And there's a pre-order on right now for some butterfly items. I haven't really looked at it yet, but I'll be doing that later. So if you want to purchase a starter kit, you can add items that customers can't purchase just yet. And then see all this beautiful paper here? So that's one of the designs that I used on this card. This here, you'd receive 5 packs of designer series paper worth, I think, $15.75 per pack. And I'm going to show you some in here in just a minute. But you'd get 5 packs. And it does say 6 in the catalog, but it was a misprint, so it is 5. So there's the Regals, the Subtles, the Brights, the Neutrals, and then the 2020 to 2022 in colors as well. Okay, let me show you the designer, at least some of the designer paper I got. I'm just going to move this out of my way because... Alright, I like putting mine in separate bags just to keep them all contained. This is the Neutrals, so you get 4 sheets, 2 of each design from each color. So you have Mary Merlot, Espresso, Navy, Crumb Cake, and Basic Gray, Soft Suede, and Mossy Meadow, and Smoky Slate, and Gray Granite, and Sahara Sand. So there's the... I don't know, that may not be the best one to use. So let's use the Mossy. So there's this design, and on this side is this really cool geometric shape. So pretty cool designs. And then there's this sheet. So I love the plaid look, even though it's not multicolored. But this one is pretty cool too. So those are the designs that you'd get. So that's the neutrals. And I just put them in a large Ziploc bag. And then we have the subtles. So these are all the soft colors. They're so pretty, so springy. We're supposed to get snow tomorrow, so I'm looking at these colors going, oh, I so look forward to when I can see my daffodils outside my front window. And then this is the brights. So these are the nice bright poppy colors. Make me think of summer. Oh, sorry, these are Regals. So nice colors make me think of fall, which is my favorite time of year. But you can use these for spring or for summer, and lots of fun things in there. All right, so these are just 3 of the 5 packs of paper, designer series paper, that you would earn with your starter kit. So if it's something that you'd love to take advantage of some savings, $165 worth of product for $135. And then before the end of February, if you do purchase a starter kit, then you would receive those 5 packs of designer paper at no additional cost. They'll send them to you. Okay. So, the blending brush is what we're going to use tonight, along with some clear embossing powder. There we go. And a heat tool. So I have that all hooked up, ready to go. Clear some things out of my way. So this is 3 and 3/4, so 3.75 by 5 inches is our designer paper. I've decided to use this, I want to call it a cog design rather than the vine design on the back. So either one would work. And then I have a little piece of Very Vanilla. It's 3/4 by 2.5, I believe it is. I'll stamp the sentiment on that later. And then our Mary Merlot piece, hi Lisa, that is 4 inches by 5.25. And then our cardstock for Early Espresso for our card base. And it is a half sheet of paper. So you'd cut it at 5.5. So you have 8.5 by 5.5 folded in half. So that goes like this. But we're going to do the stamping first and the embossing. Alright, so I used this one here, and from what I was able to find out, another demonstrator was very kind to share what they discovered each one of these pods. So this is all seeds in this, and this one is a lotus pod, poppy, bottle tree, a gum tree, I think. And then these ones here are bottle tree, and this one's a maple seed pod. So that's really fun to know that they all belong to trees. Well, or some, not really trees. These are flowers, but they are actual seeds, which is pretty cool. All right, so what I did was you take some Versamark and you ink up your stamp. And then you want the bottom part of your stamp to be off the paper. That's why I have some grid paper down. And Versamark's a lot stickier because you need it to be sticky so that the embossing powder will stick to it. So that's why I'm not using my normal grid piece. So stamp that down. And then you can you probably can't see it, but I can see it because the light is on it. And then we're going to stamp this one a little bit farther up. And then I'm going to ink up just the stem and turn this just so I can see that my light, how it's coming in, to try and match up that stem. Oh, I did a pretty good job. I don't think you can see that. But it creates like a watermark. So even if I didn't put embossing on there, it would show. It would just be very, very light. So now, you can kind of see it in the video. All right. So then I keep my clear embossing. I think this is a Wendy's spoon from way back when. And just sprinkle that on there. Get some good coverage. Oh, I forgot to stamp the little seeds. I'll go back and do that in just a minute. All right. Tap that off. Any extra. Now another tip that I learned with the Take Your Pick tool is with the putty end, you could pick up little pieces of that embossing powder if they stuck anywhere that you didn't want it to. So then these little seeds here, grab another block, and then just to give a little bit more dimension to our project, we'll stamp those there, and I think I'll stamp it there. There we go. And then I always like to close up the Versamark so that way I don't get any of the powder on it. And then we'll just sprinkle that over those seeds. Tap it off. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the heat tool. You might want to turn down your volume if you have it up high. I think you can see me. All right. Just make sure it's all melted. And not to melt your fingers. Alright, so I think that's pretty good. Oh, except for down there. So having light, like a flashlight or something, so you can make sure that the whole thing is shiny. So then that way you know that you got all the powder melted. Okay, I'm just going to make sure all the clear embossing powder is gone. I didn't get much on there, but a little bit. Alright, and just let that cool for just a moment. Now we're going to take the blending brush. Now I haven't used this a lot, but it's really simple and easy. I could believe it actually. I love how Stampin' Up! Will bring out new product, and this here is just so nice and soft. I just want to be like, it's almost like a baby's brush, hairbrush. So you just tap it here to pick up the ink. So see how it picked up the ink? Now you want to make sure to know that it will be thick, or darker, I should say. And then you want to go in a circle motion, but because we do want to, here's my original card, we do want to be quite dark, you want to just be careful around the edges. Now, the only bad thing about having all these extra lights is I can't see. There we go. And then what I found out when doing this with the blending brushes is that it wipes it off, the clear embossing, at the same time that I'm putting the ink on. Now we'll go back and use a piece of Kleenex or a paper towel or something after, but you want to just blend that color into the background. And I find it's a lot easier not to get a stark edge versus using, say, the sponge daubers. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry. And I'm getting ink on my fingers from the ink pad. I don't want to do the whole piece, so you're almost going to do just half of the designer paper. Put it on nice and thick there. So see how it's gone pretty dark? And see, it does have some color on it, but just not a lot. And you could also probably put some ink. So if you have one of our refills, you could put some ink on a clear block and pick it up that way. But I think that would make a really dark. Picking it up from your ink pad would be probably the best option. And then depending on how much, like when you had re-inked your ink pad last, would also help decide how much ink came off. So I had re-inked my ink pads very recently. So I think I just need a little bit more color down in this corner. So just blend that around. All right, and that's all we need. And then to clean off here, I'm just going to pass over one more time. I'll grab a Kleenex because that's what it is at hand, and just give a little rub over that clear embossed part, and you'll pick up some of that ink. And that'll just make that design, that stamped image, pop. So there's a little more. There we go. It just pops just a little bit more. All right. And then for this, you can use your piece of paper, or because I've used this tissue, just use it to wipe off the ink. And that's all you do until you're ready, think it's enough. So you can use it on paper to take off that little bit. So see how much you might be able to see. So after I've taken it off with that tissue, so there is still a little bit of color there, but I'm just going to leave it for now. You can decide what you're comfortable with. Alright, so now to put this card together, we need some liquid glue. And we're going to put glue on the back here. And I'm going to put a little bit more than normal because the embossing and the extra ink on it has created it, let it bubble a little. And then our Mossy Meadow piece, not Mossy Meadow, sorry. Mary Merlot, same, it's M's. And then I'm going to turn this over. And I took my bone folder last time just to make it so that the designer paper was sticking to it nicer. So I could smooth it out a little better. There we go. So I'm looking forward to using this, these designer series papers in scrapbook pages, some pocket pages, and also on some cards. I was playing around with, what color was I using today? Well, I tried I was using Pool Party the other day in this design and made a fancy fold card I'll be sharing soon. And then I used another one. I can't remember. Alright, so, and my fingers are a little inky. Just wash them off with my Simply Chamois. Alright, so, this little piece here, we're going to use some Early Espresso. And I'm going to do another happy birthday. You could do a bigger piece of paper, cardstock for Enjoy the Moment, longer one for Good Things Are Worth Waiting For, or same with Friendship is Found in Simple Things. You could do a larger piece there. Alright, and then we're just going to stamp this happy birthday using the Early Espresso ink. And we're kind of going to put it center-ish, like so. Excuse me. And clean off that stamp. Close up the ink. Alright, and then I'm going to take out the trimmer. Whoops, I'm going to lose my heat tool off the side of my desk here. And then I'm going to cut this using this corner as a guide. So I want to make sure I'm to the left of that corner. And we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. So we have some dimensionals. Oops, that one's a little too close to the edge. Let's fix that. There we go. I'll put one in the center. So just a reminder that in order to receive this designer series paper for free, you would need to purchase the starter kit before the end of February. So these are exclusive until the new catalog. So these will be available in the annual catalog starting in May. I think that's what it is, in May. They've changed up our catalog timing. So this paper is one of 5 packs that you'd receive for free if you purchase the starter kit. And then after purchasing the starter kit, you can purchase products with a 20% discount. Come on, F. Why don't you come off? It's still sticky. I don't know why it didn't want to come off. Maybe the putty was too sticky. Let's just use the tweezers here. Alright, so different design, different designer series paper, same stamp, same inks, a little bit different looking card. So thank you very much for joining me tonight, and if you have any questions, please let me know. My blog link is in the description of the video, so that way you can hop over there and see exactly the products again that I used and some other details. And then also the if you'd like to purchase that starter kit, the link is there as well. I hope you have a great evening, and I hope you join me next Thursday. Good night.